All right, well, welcome to our February Missouri Community Betterment Lunch and Learn. I'm Sarah Massengale. I'm one of the board members, and we're excited to introduce today Chrissy Sommer, who is, let me pull up that, the Community Engagement Director for Missouri Humanities, a 501c3 statewide organization. Chrissy has a great bio that includes theater work, serving with the Missouri House of Representatives, and working with business, owning businesses and working with businesses. And so we're excited to learn today more about Missouri Humanities and how we can partner with our communities and all of the great programs and resources that you provide. So thanks, Chrissy, for being here today. And I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Great. I have a presentation or PowerPoint presentation. So we will go through that. If you've got questions along the way, just, shout them out. Since we're a smaller group, it's easier to do. And then that way, it's fresh in your mind and fresh, and the answers can be more timely as far as when we're watching the PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully I can get this all the way up here. Hang on real quick. All right, can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So who I am, obviously she said, I'm Chrissy Sommer. I'm the Community Engagement Director with Missouri Humanities. And I'm gonna need to, there we go. All right. I am the Community Engagement Director with Missouri Humanities. My email's there at the bottom. If you ever need anything from me or Missouri Humanities, feel free to reach out to me or anyone else in our organization. And part of what Missouri Humanities does is we've been around for 50 years and we provide opportunities for Missouri through our programs, through our grants, and much more. I mean, we do literacy things and things like that. And I'll go through this as we go along in this presentation. So normally I go by a show of hands, how many are familiar with Missouri Humanities? I'm assuming maybe some of you are familiar with Missouri Humanities. Is that true? Yes, a little bit. Okay.
To some extent.
So it makes it easier there's a lot of people that have never heard even our name, you know what I mean? And that's fine. Hopefully by the end of the presentation, you'll have a better understanding of who we are. But like I said, it always amazes me how many people have never heard of us. I mean, literally have never heard of us. A lot of people in the, historical societies, museums, libraries, things like that, they've heard of us because obviously of our grant program, but other people, they're not as familiar. And so my mission or my goal for the organization is to get people familiar with Missouri Humanities so they know that we are more than just a grant funding organization, that we also offer programs and other things that the public can use and community organizations in that too. So, so the history of Missouri Humanities, like I said, we've been around for over 50 years. So, I mean, we're a pretty long-term organization. It started back in 1971 with Congress passing. So it set up, there are actually 56 state and territorial humanities councils. So every single state, and yes, 6 territories have Missouri or not Missouri, but a humanities council in them. And we all receive part of our support from the National Endowment for Humanities. And for us, we are dedicated to making sure, and as our missions are, as our vision statement says, our focus for the future remains the same, for a more thoughtful, informed, and civil society. So basically, as I said, we provide programs, and hopefully the programs will have dialogue, and so that people know how to discuss things instead of going for the argument side. So, people learn how to communicate and learn about our history and the history of our state and the nation itself. So our mission statement is to enrich lives and strengthen communities by connecting Missourians to the people, places, and ideas that shape our society. This is our mission statement. We want to, like I said, make sure that we're connecting people together so that they can learn to how to live in a civil society. So one of the things that I get every once in a while is we get calls in our office about Do you know vets? Do you know people that can help us with electricity? And we are not a public welfare service company organization, nor do we have anything to do with the Humane Society. I guess the word humanities, they think Humane Society, and so they contact us, or anything animal welfare related. And I always tell people that, because sometimes there's a misnomer about what we do or do not do. So what do we do? Missouri Humanities strengthens communities by promoting cultural heritage tourism, helping communities tell their stories, preserving local history, and more. So as you see here, Humanities has a lot of things, from literature, history, philosophy, language, linguistics, anthropology, and art history. So there's a lot that have to do with humanities. And I do have a little short clip, and hopefully it will show. And if not, we will just bypass it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So this will give you an idea of what humanities is, and hopefully you can
When
hear
you
it.
hear the word humanities, do you think? We don't blame you. The humanities sounds academic, but really it's all about exploring what people make and why. The humanities deepen
Chrissy, we're not
understanding
actually seeing the video. We can
Oh,
hear
you're
it though.
and helps make meaning
Okay.
and beauty out
Well,
of
then
our lives.
I
For example,
will stop sharing that, because obviously seeing the video is kind of important. That's why I said sometimes it doesn't work on the Zoom side. So I will just continue on. It's a little video, and if you want the link, I can share it with you later. So one of the things, and I appreciate you letting me know that, Sarah, because I can't see what you can. I can see, but I can't see what you can't see.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. So one of the things that we do is we have 6 core programs in Missouri Humanities. We also have a speakers bureau. We have a yearly signature series, and the 6 core programs are our community, our education, heritage, literature, and veterans, and then our grants. So those are our core programs. Our speaker series, every year we pick a theme. This year's theme is Roots and Routes, the movement and settlement of Missourians. And so we are exploring that. It's kind of a cool theme. We're going to be doing a variety of things every month, each month. And one of the things that I'm working on are some Katy trail rides. We have speakers. We have a speaker next week. I'll share that a little bit later here in the presentation. It's a Zoom panel discussion, so anyone can join on that. And I think, I can't remember who it was. I think they already said they were signed up, which is great. So I mean, we've got, things that we do in person and virtually. After COVID, obviously we have learned that the world of virtual works very well, a lot with statewide organizations, so that people can be involved. And so we have kept some of that going, as far as some of our things are in person and some are virtual, or a hybrid, or a combination of both. And a lot of these programs we offer to people with little or no charge to them. Mostly our members, if you are a member, you normally can get into free for most of our events. And for the public, it might be free, or it might be a small charge, just depending on what the event is. So just to go into detail about what programs we offer. One of the things that we do offer is our community programs. And community programs are basically a gathering, maybe at a place where we might explore some type of cultural or heritage, or even a political type topics on the Constitution, or literature, and we'll get together. And a lot of times they're held in a bar or some facility that can have some type of alcohol or drinks. We call them think and drinks, where people sit down, they listen to someone or a few people discuss something, and then there's kind of a dialogue of discussion. So that is our community. I'm going to stop here. Is there any question? Not stop, but just ask if there's any questions as we're going along. I don't want to miss anything.
If a community was interested to host one of these, would they just reach out? Would you come to a community, or do you set your schedule for the year?
So it varies. I mean, obviously we go out seeking communities, but we love when a community comes to us and say, hey, we would love to have a program. And so we'll work with that community. Maybe they'll set up the venue and, you know, maybe do some promoting. Maybe we'll get the speaker, or maybe they get the speaker. Some of the funding might come through us as far as, you know, maybe paying for some of the drinks, or sometimes we get sponsorships. So it really depends. I'm giving you both sides. So it could be where we come in and do a lot of the work, or where the community just kind of wants our backing and help, and we'll come in and, you know, and help them with the event. So it just really depends. We have veterans events, and you'll hear about that in a little bit, where we more or less, not that we're on the back burner, but, you know, we have other people that kind of run those panel discussions, but we're still helping to, you know, get that done for them.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so our education programs are basically what we call Missouri Humanities Outdoors, and they might be anything from we've had float trips, overnight float trips. We've had where people are learning about maybe things in the environment. The one picture you see here on the right is a discussion we had with Ulysses S. Grant, but this was also, you know, an educational type thing where we had actually a reenactor come in, and he portrayed Ulysses S. Grant, and you know, he did his presentation, and then there was also followed by discussion. So almost all of our programs, we have some kind of discussion part of that program. Our heritage programs, that's a pretty major part of what we do. They're dedicated to providing historical and heritage, you know, programs in our state. This year we have a traveling exhibit that is again for Ulysses S. Grant, celebrating his 200th birthday. It travels around the state. It traveled around all during 2022. It will be traveling some in 2023. It is still continuing now. I'm not sure how far it will go, is how many more months, but I believe as long as he has takers that want to take the traveling exhibit for a month, then it will continue. One of the things, or I should say two of the things that we're kind of proud of, or, you know, promoting, I guess more you would say, is we have a Crossroads exhibit coming in from the Smithsonian. We picked, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe it was 6 communities in Missouri. And what'll happen is this will travel towards the end of this year, 2023 into 2024. And it is going to communities within the state of Missouri. They had to apply, and then they were picked. And this exhibit will be there, and we'll help promote that. At the bottom, you will see the logos of Missouri Humanities, Missouri Tourism, and Missouri Arts Council. This year, we started an initiative called Horizons, where so many communities events were picked. And so we are going together with these other 2 great organizations in our state to provide promotion and help to get people to their event, and also some funding to maybe bring in additional maybe speakers or presentations for their event. The next one coming up is on February 20th. It is in St. Joseph, Missouri. It is the family festival that they have, and it's February 20th, which I know is a Monday, but it is also President's Day. So a lot of families are off that day, so they do it on that day. And then we've also got other ones coming up all over the state. So we have another one in March on the 17th, which will be in Dogtown, which is in St. Louis side. That is their Irish festival and parade. And so we're helping with that. And if you want to find out where the other ones are occurring, you can just go to our website, and at the top of the bar, if you look under Heritage, there's a tab that says Horizons, and you can find out where those are. But like I said, most of our heritage programs, they focus on Native American, German, any type of heritage through our state. And we are really trying to incorporate a lot of the rural areas. I know you guys you're in Dallas County, right? In that area, is that right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, our board's all over the state. So
Yeah, we are.
But I meant like okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So So you're like us, kind of, our boards all over the state too. But I was gonna say, so like, say Dallas County, it's one of those areas in our state where, you know, the sad thing, I guess you'd say sad, is that we haven't had a lot of activity in that area. And so a lot of other rural areas too, where we want to start bringing these type of programs to them. I mean, St. Louis and Casey are great, but they get a lot of attention, not only by us, but other organizations. So we're looking at how can we help the rural or underserved communities. And so that is one of the things we're focusing on. Oops, this way. Our literature programs, we are proud to tell you or announce, we announced it already. It was, we are the Missouri affiliate for the Library of Congress Center for the Book. Last year we had a book festival, and it was in Washington, Missouri. And so the book festival, we coordinate this, and I know this year it will be in a different location. They are starting to meet as far as putting that together, and it will be later in this year, just like last year it was later in the year. Eventually it might expand to be several book festivals throughout the year. But like I said, we are the Missouri affiliate for the Library of Congress Center for the Book. So we're kind of proud of that. They normally pick some organization, or, you know, we work with them and we were picked to be that. And so it's kind of an honor to be that. All right, back this way, sorry. Okay, so Speakers Bureau, that is one of our things that, as I was trying to explain, that we are really trying to get into the rural areas. And this is something you guys might be able to help with. So our Speakers Bureau, we have, I believe it's 52 speakers right now. There is a catalog, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. It is on our website. You can go to our website, look at the Speakers Bureau tab, and you can actually click on the catalog and take a look at all the different speakers. But one of the things that we are doing this year, we set it up different this year, is not only do we have the speaker catalog that you can choose speakers from, but we are underwriting the speakers so that the speakers can give 4 presentations a year, which would be free to the host in underserved areas of our state. Now, that's pretty broad, meaning that the only ones that are really not included in the underserved areas are communities like Kansas City, St. Louis County, St. Louis City, Springfield, and Columbia. So pretty much if you're outside of those areas, then you could get an underwritten program. So maybe an organization, you know, would like a speaker to come in and give a presentation. And if they're in a county, say, let's just pick Henry County, and, you know, it's in one of what we call the underserved areas, they could potentially receive this speaker to come into their organization or event for free. If for some reason that speaker has fulfilled his 4 underserved areas, his or her underserved areas, then the speaker would then coordinate with the host as far as what it would cost to have them come in and give the talk. So like I said, at that point, it becomes more like we have the catalog for them, but we are encouraging or requiring, I guess you would say, that every speaker provides 4 presentations around our state for free to organizations, and we underwrite those. So they've already been paid, but past that, then your organization would be charged for that. Any questions about that? Because I know that's kind of new for this year and something we're really trying to promote.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
When you talk about underserved areas, I think Sarah knows where I'm going with this.
All righty.
What you know, would that count, or how would that play into something where you have a statewide organization and you are trying to present programs at a conference that would reach people presumably from, you know, all corners of the state that would attend, and would that count as speakers being an underserved area?
Yeah, so what you're saying is like your group, the Missouri
Mhm.
Community for Betterment, you know, and you're statewide, so you're everywhere, you're like us. I know that it has to be in an underserved area, meaning like if you're holding the thing in Springfield, it won't count because obviously that's not one of the underserved areas. But if you're holding it in Camden County, let's say, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then I'm sure that our Speakers Bureau coordinator probably can work that out with you. As far as because of where it's being held in an underserved area or rural area. And that is the goal, is that these are taking place in rural
I
areas.
understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, just because you're statewide and are you guys, I'm assuming, are a nonprofit like we are, I'm presuming. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some, not that, there's some other requirements, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, I'm sure it could be worked out. Obviously you can't just have, set up something in St. Louis, you know what I mean? The goal would be that it would be in an area that is underserved. There is a catch, or I don't want to call it a catch because that's not the right word, because that sounds like you can't do it. We have had some done via Zoom. We're not trying to promote that way because obviously we want to make sure that it's taking place in that underserved area. But there is, like I said, she has worked, her name is Erin, and she has worked with some organizations as far as, how can that, and it really is working it with the speaker because they're really in charge of their own schedule, their own setting up and everything. But she can, and a lot of times what'll happen is you might not come to us, but the speaker might come to us and say, hey, I've got this organization, they're really statewide, but they're having an event down in Taney County. They're really statewide, but is it okay? And then, yes, you can count that towards your underserved. So it's really, I don't want to say up to the speaker, but a lot of times they'll reach out to us and say, well, does that count towards my 4? You know what I mean? So they want to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. So yeah, not to say that there's ways to do it, but there's always ways to do it.
Well, yeah, I think in person as much as we can right now is very important, rather than having people sitting around looking at a computer screen, even a projection screen, and everything. You do that if you could get a world-renowned speaker, and that's the only way. But otherwise, it may not be our. But anyway, I'm off topic now.
Oh no, you're fine. Like I said, and this is one of those areas this year we're really trying to expand it into those underserved areas. So however it comes about getting it there, we just, obviously we're not going to let like for-profits, you know what I mean, take things, they're not going to, I'm a for-profit organization or business and we're going to use it, and we're going to be, in some county, that's not part of the excluded counties, you know what I mean? No, this has, and you guys would qualify as far as a nonprofit, so there are some rules that we won't break. So yeah.
Columbia is where the conference is going to be.
Yeah. So that might rule it out, just because I think Columbia Boone is one of those that's in that particular area. But if you go to our Speakers Bureau page, again, on our website, click on the Speakers Bureau tab, and there is a link on there that says host, and then it says frequently asked questions, and that would probably answer your questions in there in more great detail. So, and if you don't get an answer, reach out to me and I'll find out for you. Okay?
Thank you, Chrissy.
No problem. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one, unless somebody else has a question, and just shout out if you do. So this is the one, I think the veterans programs to me is one, even though I'm the community engagement person, is really dear to my heart, because when I did serve in the Missouri State House, I worked a lot with the veterans programs. And so when I saw that Missouri Humanities worked with veterans and we had a veterans program, I think this kind of pulled me into wanting to work with this group. We have a book that comes out once a year. It's called Proud to Be. We are working on volume 11, came out just recently. So we are starting to work on 12. We have workshops around the state that we help veterans write, and it doesn't have to be like a war story. It just has to be, they start working on things, writing on things. Sorry, it could be a poem, it could be a short story, it could be something, and they pick entries, and then they put this book together once a year. So to me, this is just one of those things. It's a passion of mine to help veterans, and Missouri Humanities is doing that. And so if you or anyone that is a veteran and would be interested in participating in this, we are taking submissions, and we do have workshops to help the veterans do their writing. And it also helps them as far as how to express themselves, because a lot of these individuals, they might have PTSD or they might have other issues. I don't want to call them issues, but issues where this really helps them live a more fulfilling life. And it can also be family members of the veteran. We also encourage them to be a part of this whole experience. Next is our annual signature series. Like I said, we have had these for the last few years. The current one this year is Roots and Routes, the Movement and Settlement of Missourians. And like I said, we are having workshops and presentations all over the state. Like I said, we are always looking for ways to come to your communities around the state to promote this, or have a presentation or a workshop or a panel discussion, or like I am working on the side with the members, because I also do membership, where we're going to have rides along the Katy Trail. We have a book that we have helped with that is called Katy Trail, a guided tour through history. It's actually just sitting next to me here. And there are 9 rides. We're not going to do all 9 because some of them are like 60 plus miles, but it's kind of like where we're going to kind of incorporate someone to come out, give a little history of that area, and then people can choose to ride, to walk, to just, enjoy the talk and then go home, or whatever they choose. But we're going to do that all over the state, trying to pick more of the communities that have maybe a trailhead, but maybe aren't your normal, I can't even think, like St. Charles or Sedalia, you know what I mean? So maybe outside of those areas, so people can meet up, but not too far off the given path, so that we can encourage people to come out. And we will have other things. We will have a speaker come in. We will have a gala that's part of this. We will have podcasts that come out on a regular basis. And so every year we kind of focus on a theme. Last year was Eat, Think, and Be Merry, which was a great one because it was a lot of food tasting. And so this year, like I said, is Roots and Routes. So how can we help organizations or communities like maybe that you are in? And part of that, like I was telling you, is our grants program. We just had one, the deadline just passed on February 1st, but we always have one, it seems like, coming up right away. They're every 3 months, depending on the grant. It's either $2,500 up to $10,000. And so the next one will be May 1st. It's for our mini grants up to $2,500. And we can help, fund or some type of a project or a presentation or some kind of engagement with the community. It must be humanities content. And it could be a nonprofit, like I said, it could be a school, a city, a library, things like that. Or just an organization, who wants to have this come out. So Jeffrey, kind of like what you were saying, let's say that something doesn't fall along the lines for the Speakers Bureau. It could be that maybe you reach out and you apply for a mini grant or a major grant to help with your workshop or your symposium or your conference. You know what I mean? Okay. So
yes, that's been talked about as well.
Yeah. So there are other ways. Like I said, if for some reason you don't qualify for the speakers, maybe the speaker through the underwriting, maybe you can apply for a grant and then you can use that then to get a speaker. So it's kind of a different way, but same result.
Sure.
On our website, again, I always refer back to our website. We have a really good brochure on there. You can print it off, or you can just look at it on our website. It goes through what things can be funded, what things can't be funded. And so that kind of really gives you an idea of what you can use this for. So like I said, that very top one, as you see, it says honorarium and travel for speakers, so right there might be a way to help with that. Okay. And then this is just the other side of the brochure, just explaining what the brochure is and how to apply. And like I said, this is on our website. You're more than welcome to print it off if you want to look at it, or just look at it online. So the other thing that we really are starting to focus on, and we started this right after I started with Missouri Humanities a little over a year ago, is a toolkit for our partners. And a lot of times we get partners that maybe they don't know how to do something. They don't know how to do marketing. And so we offer a toolkit that kind of are different things, and it's an online toolkit So like if you don't know how to advocate for something, or you don't know how to market, what is coming up, or maybe you don't know how to write a press release, or how do you do that grant writing? And so all of these you would click on once you go to the website, and it'll, have videos, or maybe, sheets on how to do things, or explanations on things. And the other thing is, we always tell people, if there's something that's not on this toolkit, because I'm sure there's lots of other things that you guys could think of, let us know. One of the things that I have been trying to work with our communications person, who also helps with the website, is an easy website tutorial, how to set up a really easy website, or how to do social media. Because we have found that a lot of individuals, they don't have a really simple even a one-page website. They rely on Facebook as their web page, and that's really not a web page. So it's things like that. Maybe or your organization needs help with it, or maybe someone. And so let us know, and we'd be happy to put something together and then put it on our website for everyone to use. The other thing that we offer, and this might help you guys too, is we have what we call our Around Our Community calendar. And this is where you can post any of your events coming up, speakers, presentations, symposiums, conferences, whatever, just as long as they're communities minded. And we put this on our community calendar, and then we boost it out to our subscribers, to our e-news, to our social media, encouraging them to go to the calendar to look at these events. We might pick out and highlight certain events. We try to send out something on a regular basis to tell people what's coming up around our state, be it Missouri Humanities things or community things. So if you put your event on our calendar, it is an easy way to get it promoted for free throughout the state. The link to it is really simple. It's just our website, MissouriHumanities.org, and then /calendar. And then there's a very simple form to fill out if you want to add your event to the calendar. And it's very simple, I will tell you that. Any questions about that or anything else right now? All right, so how can you get involved as an individual and or as your organization? One of the things is attend an event. Attend something that we're doing, find out more about us, find out, what we're doing in the community, what we're doing around the state, what we're doing in your area. Host a program. I think you mentioned that, was it Sarah mentioned about hosting a program? How can we get involved? So, maybe you want to, host one of the veterans writing workshops. And so, I can get you in touch, or if you go to our website, you'll see that our staff member, Lisa Carico, she does the veterans writing workshops. Caitlin does our cultural heritage workshops. Erin does our speakers bureau. So, reach out to any of our staff members. We'll get you in touch with the right person if you're interested in hosting an event. But if you're interested in attending an event, you just go to our online calendar. A lot of times, if there's a registration, it will be there. You can sign up to go, or you just come out and attend. So one of the, like I told you, one of our upcoming ones is our virtual roundtable. I thought somebody on the staff here or on your board here said that they were already signed up to go to this. It is next week. So I believe it's a week from today. I think today's Wednesday. And it will be a virtual roundtable, meaning it will be online. So anywhere in our state or around the world can register and participate in this. So I did put the link there. And I also did put a clickable URL code. So if you want to register for that, it's very simple. But that is one of our events coming up very, very soon. The other things you can help with is becoming a sponsor, maybe of some kind of event. It could be a program sponsor. It could, be a sponsor to host a workshop, host a presentation, host a podcast, be a sponsor for our gala, or, be a sponsor for our Read from the Start. We have Read from the Start kits that we send out to families that, maybe they need help reading to their children. And so we have these Read from the Start kits. Every kit is only $11 to sponsor. And so, we have sponsorships for that. So some of our sponsorship levels, even though you see here $1,500 5,000 and 10,000. We have things as small as $11. So those are basically just our sponsorships if you're going to sponsor a major thing, but other things we have are much smaller if you want to get involved, but don't, obviously have that type of money. Another thing is becoming a member. We have a membership level, which includes a lot of different things. It includes our newsletter. It includes our magazine. It includes a subscription to the National Endowment for Humanities magazine. It includes some free admittance into events. Depending on the membership level, you would get a book or possibly up to 3 books that we have in our library for you to have. So it's just a way to become a member, become a little bit more involved than just a regular donation. And lastly, almost, is how do you also get involved with us? And this could be getting social with us, as we say, finding us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. As you said, you guys have one too, where we post all of our videos and websites, videos and things like that. We have a podcast, which are through our website right now. We have LinkedIn and we have eBless that go directly to your email account. One of the things is we also on our YouTube last year and this year, we are doing what I call short films. We just had one very recently that was part of the Remember the Removal ride, which is a bike ride across our state to remember the removal of the Native Americans. And it is very well put together. Our cinematographer, Michael, he put this together and it is very, very well done. We had several from last year that are on our YouTube channel. One has to do with food inequities across our state. It's called Won't You Feed My Neighbor? And it has to, like I said, it's a very good short movie that we put together last year. So if you're interested in watching any of our movies, they are free online and on our YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it for me. Here's how you can get connected to either myself or our executive director. It is through our website. And otherwise, I am available now to chat or answer questions or talk about the great Kansas City Chiefs team or anything you guys want to talk about. I'm going to leave this here for just a minute in case any of you want to write down this information, and otherwise I will stop sharing my screen. And if you would like a copy of the presentation for some reason, maybe there were some links or some things you want, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Thanks, Chrissy. This was great. Lots of really good information and ideas brewing. Jeffrey, you have a question, it looks like.
Well, I don't know. I was just going to say, I'm sorry, I jumped in at the same time. That's what happens.
Okay.
I'd like a copy of the excuse me, I'd like a copy of the PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, can I send that to Sarah? Should I send it to you, Sarah? That you can get it out?
Fine, and I can get it out.
I don't know, like on our YouTube, sometimes they have the ability to share that on there. You're more than welcome to do that. So
okay, great. Thank you. We'll make sure everyone that wants it gets a copy.
Sure. I will do that.
Sarah, this is Elaine. When she was
Elaine.
mentioning on different towns that were not available for this, what about Columbia, where we are having our conference?
So Columbia is in Boone County, and Boone is one of those excluded areas. And I don't have it right in front of me. I can pull it up to let you know what they are, but I do know it's Kansas City, so it'd be Jackson, and it's St. Louis area, so it'd be St. Louis County and St. Louis City, and then also Springfield. So what is that? Oh gosh, why am I blanking?
Greene County.
Thank you. I'm like, and then Boone. There's not a whole lot of them. Like I said, there's only like 6. And so, it's really simple, and I'm trying to pull it up as we're talking here so that I'm not, talking incorrectly. Yeah, so hang on here. Program.
But you did mention, Chrissy, that there's other routes we could probably work with you all to find a speaker. So
I don't know what your time frame is, meaning I don't know when it is. But what I was going to say is we also do have the grant way to get money for honorariums for your speakers and things like that. So that might be a way to do it. So as I'm scrolling and talking at the same time. Let me see if I can find it. La-di-da-di-da. So anyway, but like I said, you know, it's a way to get speakers in even without using the underwriting, would be to go through our grant process.
Great.
Any other questions?
Boone County is an MSA for census purposes, and so is
Yeah.
like St. Joseph and so forth there. So I didn't
Yeah.
know.
So hang on, your
like I
info
said,
for
probably-
speakers. Okay, let's see here. All right, these are defined as the communities outside. Okay, so if you're outside of these areas, you qualify for underserved for the underwriting. So these are the counties of Boone, Greene, Jackson, St. Louis County, and outside of and St. Louis City. Sorry. So if you're not in those Boone 1, 2, 3, 4, those areas, you qualify for underwriting. So Boone is considered one of them, and that's where Columbia is. But like I said, if for some reason you are looking to get help, you can apply for a grant, and the next grant round, it comes up May 1st, and that's for the mini grants, which should cover something like that, up to $2,500. So that might be a route to go. But like I said, you know, if you're doing anything else across the state and it falls outside those areas, you know, definitely consider the speaker's underwriting.
Thank you.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. You have something, Jennifer? No? Anybody? Nope. Nope. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't mean to cut it not really short. It's you know, we got 15 minutes left. If I don't know if you guys have any other discussion that you need to do.
Sure. No, I think unless there's other updates from board members about anything coming up, we will have our next Lunch and Learn in March. And I don't remember offhand who the speaker is, but if everybody can help to share the word and spread that so that we can get more people on board and registered. And otherwise, Chrissy, oh, go ahead, Jeffrey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the Library of Congress, I got interrupted about that time. Center for the Book.
Yes.
What did you say again that real briefly have what that involved, or what kind of activities would be tied to that?
So, yeah. So one of the things that's an activity that we are doing, because we are the Center for the Book, is we are doing a book festival. We did one last year in Washington, Missouri. And this one I am going to, I think it's, no, I'm not going to say because I'm not positive exactly where it is. I was going to say Springfield, but I know as soon as I say that, that's not right. I know they're starting to meet and work through like that. And part of it is to eventually, I believe the goal is to have things happening across the state.
Okay, stay tuned for more developments there, maybe.
Very good. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
To be announced.
TBD.
TBD. Yeah. To be discussed. To be announced. Yep. But thank you for all your questions and for your time. Like I said, I will send over the PowerPoint, and you know, don't hesitate if you've got any questions about anything, or if there's something that Missouri Humanities can help you with. I know I heard we on our staff meeting, I think it was our staff meeting yesterday, Tuesday, somebody did mention Missouri Community for Betterment, and I know, so you're on our buzz list too. So
Should have a working relationship here going forward.
That's right. That's right. It's amazing. That's one of the reasons we're trying to really, you know, bring the community into a lot of the things that we're doing. If it's the calendar or the toolkit, you know, things so that, you know, a source, you know, since we are statewide also, you know, a source that a lot of our historical societies, museums, you know, those smaller entities, you know, some of them are ran by volunteers and there's 2 of them, you know what I mean? And, you know, they don't have a lot of time to do research. So it's like, well, let us put some things together to help you. And then, you know, and then get them hopefully more volunteers. And, you know, so.
Right. Well, this was really helpful. Thank you, Chrissy. And we might just go ahead and wrap up because the sun is shining. And so we'll give you an extra 10 minutes to enjoy the day before everything that's next. So thanks everybody for joining, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Sarah.
everyone.
Everybody.
Thank you.